So kia ora whānau. Just recalling a conversation that I had with an executive, and we'll just name him the executive, the stereotypical executive, okay? And he came up to me and just after one of our little wānanga that we've had, and he says, "Oh, this is awesome," you know, and I really enjoyed today. Something I'm just a little bit worried about is what happens when they come into the real world, right? When are they going to wake up and realize that actually, you know, all this value stuff, all this bringing your cultural self into work and all of that, that's fine, but what happens when they wake up into the real world and say, hey, you actually still need to be able to provide or be able to get these results? And taken back a little bit, I was wondering, where's he going with this? And realizing by the end of the conversation, he was like, these are all nice to have, but at the end of the day, you got to fall in line. So I decided to ask him this couple of questions, and I said, hey, Matsua, sir, is it your strategic priority, or is it your organization's strategic priority to increase the cultural diversity of thought or cultural diversity of your leadership team? He said, yes. I said, awesome. Is it your strategic priority to be able to increase the productivity of your current Māori, Pacific, Indigenous staff? And he said, yes. And I said, well, currently, how are you going with those objectives? And he goes, no, we've got opportunities there and nobody's taking the opportunities. Our Māori and Pacific, they do well, they do their job descriptions and that. And I'm going, well, that's awesome. So there's your solution. And he's like, pardon? I'm like, well, let me tell you this story. If our people are only producing at their job description, you are barely getting 10% of their true potential. Right? They're not going above and beyond for you and your organization. How do I know this? Because ask any Māori in Pacific, when there's a tangi, when there's a funeral, right? So we're talking about your frontline staff, right? When there's a tangi, where there's a funeral, right? You have some of our uncles and our aunties that become project managers, caterers, negotiators, conflict managers, right? They become the accountants. They take all the koha. They manage over 150 people during a really sad time, and they do this with no budget. Is this the potential that you want in your organization? Imagine if we only doubled the productivity of your current Indigenous staff. Is this what you want? He goes, yes, this is what I want. Yes, this is our strategic directive. I says, awesome. If you want this potential, you've got to learn to change your environment. You've got to learn to provide an environment that includes the uniqueness of what our Indigenous people bring. Right? And obviously by the end of conversation, we're able to have a little bit more kōrero in terms of this, because at the end of the day, it's about results. And when a majority of your frontline staff are Māori and Pacific, you need them to be productive and push even more. So a bit of food for thought, whānau. Good conversation I had with the executive.